Good morning. So as a man, we feel that a large part of our duty is to protect our families, to protect our homes. There's many ways that we can do that. Being physically fit, having emergency food stores, being capable of skilled violence if there's a worst case scenario that happens, even owning and training in the use of firearms. Those things are all ways that we can defend our families in the worst case scenarios. But really what I want to focus on today is the best home defense, and that is spiritually. We need to spiritually defend our families against attack from a spiritual enemy. There are enemies that are not flesh and blood. They aren't afraid of our muscles, our shotgun, or our fighting prowess. These principalities and powers of darkness don't care about our strength in the physical, our capability in the flesh, because those things that we develop are not able to combat against them. These physical defenses are nothing against a spiritual enemy. Now, I don't hyper-spiritualize things. I don't see a devil behind every bush, but I think that there are influences at work. There is a real devil, and he actually does have an effect on the people of this world and even us if we do not defend against him. So our flesh is not capable of defending against these things, so we need to depend and lean on God. There is a predator out there. Satan is real. He and his minions are roaming the streets like wild lions, looking for someone to eat. Now, I don't know if you've watched that popular show, Tiger King. Just imagine that all of his cats, all of those giant tigers were let out and they were roaming the streets of your city. How terrifying that would be. How scary that would be for you and your family. And then imagine if those giant cats were not able to be taken down by like normal weapons that you would fight against them with, tranquilizers, shotguns, rifles. All those things are ineffective against them. How much more scary that would be. No physical weapon is capable of eliminating a spiritual threat. So 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5 says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the tearing down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." The best form of home defense is an active prayer life. We need to be consistent in our spiritual training because no amount of physical strength, no amount of skill in the physical is able to combat a spiritual enemy. Too often we want to be sufficient in ourselves. We want to be independent. We don't want to lean on or depend on anyone else. But the fact is that spiritually we need to lean and depend on God. He is the all-sufficient one. He is the one that we can run to and depend on. He has conquered death, hell, and the grave. He has given us victory in our homes, in our cities, in our world. We need to put our hope and our trust in him, and then we can actively defend our loved ones against any attack. So we hope that we never have to defend our families against physical attack, but the fact is that there will be spiritual things that will happen in our homes. There will be attacks of anxiety, depression, all of these things that, yes, they might have other elements to them, but there is definitely a spiritual component, and we can battle against those things in prayer. The enemy is actively seeking to destroy the saints of God and their families. And we need to defend against him by leaning and trusting on God. So we need to pick up our spiritual armor, pick up the sword of the Word of God, and defend our families, defend our loved ones, defend our homes against spiritual attack. Thank you all. God bless. Have a good day.